Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்ல ஆசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book. Take page number 239. Today we will discuss about democracy. So in our previous class we discussed about the different forms of government. So what are the different forms of government we have discussed? Aristocracy, monarchy, autocracy, oligarchy, theocracy, democracy and republic. Okay, so we discussed the different forms of government which was practiced in many countries. Okay, in today's class we will discuss about the democracy. So the democracy is the most preferred type of government practiced in many countries. So democracy is the most permanent, so most important form of government which was practiced in many countries. So in today's class we will discuss in detail about the democracy. Okay, so what is mean by democracy? So what are the important features? Then the definition. Then how it was evolved. So when the concept of democracy evolved. Then the types. Then finally about the merits and demerits of democracy. So we will discuss in this class. First, what is democracy? So democracy, so it is a form of government which allows the people to choose their rulers. So in democracy, so which is a form of government which allows the people to choose their rulers. So that means people can choose their rulers in democratic form of government. Then only leaders elected by people should rule the country. Then who can rule the country? The leaders elected by people should rule the country. Okay, so that is the people have the power to choose their rulers and the leaders elected by the people should rule the country. Then here in democratic form of government, people have freedom to express their views. So they have freedom to express their opinion. Then freedom to organize. So they have freedom to organize into a group or a community. Okay, or a class. Okay, so they have freedom to organize into a group. Then they have freedom to protest. That means they have freedom to oppose the government. Okay, so oppose the things. So if they don't like the opinion or if they don't like anything made by the government means, so they have freedom to protest. They have freedom to oppose it. Okay, so democracy means it is a form of government which allows the people to choose their rulers. So then, so the leaders, so who can rule the country means, so the leaders elected by people only have the power to rule the country. Then here the people have the freedom to express their views, then freedom to organize and freedom to protest. So that is the democracy. So meaning of democracy. So democracy is a system of government in which the supreme power is vested in the people of a country. So democracy is a form of government in which the supreme power is vested. Supreme power is with the people of a country and the people elect their representatives. So the people elect their representatives through direct or indirect elections, so which was held periodically. So people elect their representatives either directly or indirectly through fair and free elections. So elections were held free and fair. So there is no money to be paid by the citizen to vote or to contest elections. Okay, so he had to vote freely, so without any discrimination, without any prohibition. A citizen who attained 18 years of age can have the right to vote. Okay, so meaning of democracy, it is a system of government in which the supreme power is vested in the people of a country and the people elect their representative through direct or indirect elections which was held periodically. So if you take in India, the election was held periodically means, so it was 5 years once. Okay, so if the government have majority support means, so election was contested, so 5 years once. So if you take in America, so the president election was held 4 years once. Okay, so that's why we say periodically. Okay, so democracy means government in which people have the supreme power and the people elect their representatives through direct or indirect elections, so which is held periodically. Then definition for democracy by Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi gave a definition for democracy. So he says, true democracy cannot be worked by 20 men sitting at the center. So true democracy means it is not working by 20 men sitting at the top level, so sitting at the center. It has to be worked from below by the people of every village. So democracy should come from village side. Yeah. So that means in democracy, so power should not be in the center. So power should be from below the people, that is from village level. So he want the democratic power should be from village level. So true democracy cannot be worked by 20 men sitting at the center. So sitting at the center means sitting at the central government or at the top level. It has to be worked from below by the people of every village. Okay. So that is in democratic form of government, every citizen even from village have to be participated. So this is the definition given by Mahatma Gandhi about democracy. Then the Abraham Lincoln of democracy. So you know very well, already in your previous class you have learned about the Abraham Lincoln's definition of democracy. So Abraham Lincoln, so he was the former president of United States of America. So he defines democracy as government of the people, by the people and for the people. So Abraham Lincoln, the president of USA, defines democracy as a government of the people, government by the people and government for the people. So you have very famous definition, you know very well. So Abraham Lincoln, so he also gave a definition for democracy. So what was the definition given by Mahatma Gandhi about democracy? Yeah, true democracy cannot be worked by 20 men sitting at the center. It has to be worked from below by the people of every village. So this was the definition given by Mahatma Gandhi. Then by Abraham Lincoln, so democracy is the government of the people, by the people and for the people. So salient features of democracy. So what are the important features of democracy? So first, elected representatives of people and final decision making power to representative. Okay, so the representatives were elected by the people and they have the power to make decisions. So the representatives elected by the people have the power in decision making, in final decision making. Then free and fair elections. So election was conducted in free. Okay, so election was conducted free and fair. Okay, so there is no amount should be paid to vote. Okay, so free and fair election. Then third one, voting right is with equal value to those who have attained the age of 18. That means those who have attained the age of 18 have given the voting rights, and the voting rights value was equal for all. So there is no discrimination. Okay, so voting right is with equal value. Okay, then fundamental rights and protection of individual freedom. So fundamental rights guaranteed by our constitution and individual freedom was given more importance. Okay, so these are the important features of democracy. So first, elected representative of people and final decision making power was given to those representatives. Then free and fair elections. Then voting right given to the people who attained the age of 18 and the voting right is with equal value. So all the vote have given equal importance. Then fundamental rights, so was guaranteed by the constitution and the protection of individual freedom. So these are the salient features of democracy. Next, evolution of democracy. So evolution means gradual development. So how the democracy slowly developed from its beginning. So the concept of democracy first began 2500 years ago in some of the city-states of ancient Greece. So Greece, it is a country in Europe. So in ancient Greece, so it was divided into many states, so called as city-states. So likewise India is divided into many states now. Like that, so Greece consists of many city-states. So in that city-states, the concept of democracy was emerged. So in that period, in that time, so there was an assembly, so for making laws, which was open to common people. Okay, wow. So in ancient Greece, so there was assembly. So in the city states in ancient Greece, there were assemblies, so which was open to all free men for the making of law. So for making law. Okay, wow. So this was the first concept of democracy. So originated. So in ancient Greece, 2500 years ago, so the concept of democracy was began. Yeah. So we will learn about the ancient Greece city states in your history lessons. Okay, wow. So in later history lesson, you will learn about the ancient Greece. There the concept of democracy began 2500 years ago. So democratic institutions existed in India even during the Vedic period itself, because a democratic institution existed in India during Vedic period itself. So Chanakya, so a famous author of Arthashastra, a famous person who wrote Arthashastra, so tells us that in ancient India an autonomous village community was existed. So then the village community was the basic unit of local government. Okay, wow. So democratic institution existed in India during Vedic period itself. So Chanakya's Arthashastra, so a very famous book that was in India, so tells us that in ancient India an autonomous village community so existed, so which is the basic unit of local government. During the later Chola period in ancient Tamil Nadu, Kodawali system existed, so which is a notable and unique feature, so special feature of village administration of Cholas. So Kodawali system, which was practiced in the latter period of Cholas, so it is like the democratic concept. So in that method, so you can see in this picture, so the persons who should be elected was written. Yeah, so the name of the person who was to be elected was written and was kept in a pot, and they call a small girl or boy to take the name. Yeah, so they wrote few persons' name, so who have the qualification for elected as the leader or the leader of the village community, village administration. Okay, so a child, so maybe a boy or a girl, was asked to take the palm leaf. So during that time they write the names in the palm leaf. So they wrote some of the persons' name in palm leaf separately and put it in a pot. Okay, wow. So they asked the children so to take the palm leaf, any one palm leaf. So the name which was in the palm leaf so was elected as the leader of the village administration. Okay, so that method is called as Kodawali Murai. So you can see in this picture and also nearby the statue. So this was common practice in the later Chola period. So this is one method of democratic. So people elect their leader. So evolution towards a democracy. So it was represented by the following values. So democracy was represented by the following values. So first, freedom. In democracy, people have freedom. Then equality. So people were treated equal. So all people were treated equal. Then fraternity. So friendship and mutual support. That means there is friendship among the people. Then accountability. That is responsibility. Okay, so the government is responsible. Also the people is responsible. People also responsible for their government. Yeah. So there is a responsible. Then transparency. So transparency means so being transparent. Yeah. So everything happen in the government or everything happen in public was transparent. Then trust. So that is a strong belief in the responsibility. Yeah. So there was a strong belief. So there is a trust. So these are the values. So these are the democratic concept. So first freedom, then equality, then fraternity, then accountability, then transparency and trust. So these are the common values so that were existed in democratic government. So types of democracy. So there are two types of democracy. One is called as direct democracy and another one is called as indirect democracy. So how was it divided? So it refers to the kind of government or social structure which allow people to participate equally. Yeah, so it was divided. So democracy was divided into direct and indirect. So on what basis means? So based on the kind of government or social structure which allow people to participate equally. Okay, so two types of democracy. So what are they? Yeah, direct and indirect democracy. So direct democracy. So in this, people themselves directly express their will on public affairs. Okay, so if there is any critical situation, any public affairs means, so they ask the people to vote directly, to elect directly. So this type of democracy is also called as pure democracy. So it existed in ancient Greek states, then and now in Switzerland. Okay, so this type of practice existed in ancient Greek city states and Switzerland. So people themselves directly express their will on public affairs. Okay, so this type of democracy is called as direct democracy. So indirect democracy. See, in this, people express their will on public affairs through their elected representatives. So like in India. Okay, so it is called as representative democracy. So people express their public affairs through their elected representatives. Okay, so you can see in this picture. So people elect their representatives, and the representatives were sent to parliament, that is the law-making body, and they were responsible for decision making. In direct democracy, in public affairs, people choose their option. So people were permitted directly to choose their wish. Okay, but in direct democracy, people were not allowed to choose their will. So to choose their wish, but they will on public affairs was expressed through their representatives. So such a type of democracy is called as indirect democracy. It was also called as representative democracy. So example for indirect democratic countries are India, USA and UK. So India, USA and UK. So direct democracy means people express their will directly. Indirect means people express their will through elected representatives. Okay, so you can see in this picture clearly. So the people, so the direct and indirect, that is representative democracy. So people through their vote make laws and rules for their country. In indirect, that is representative democracy, people through vote elect the representatives, and their representatives make the laws and rules for the country. So this is the main difference. So people directly participate in democracy, in lawmaking, but in representative, people indirectly through the representative, so make the laws and rules for their country. So first, merits of the democracy. So we will discuss it about types of democracy. Now we will discuss it about merits and demerits of democracy. So first, merits. So responsible and accountable government. So in democracy, so the government is responsible for whatever happened during its ruling period. Then it is accountable. Then it is responsible. Then it is responsible for the things happen during their rule. Then equality and fraternity. So in democratic form of government, all people are treated equally. Then and there should be a fraternity. That is, there should be a feeling of brotherhood, friendship among the people. Then sense of responsibility among common people. So among common people also there is a feeling of responsibility, because people government, so the person who was elected by the people was in the ruling power. So the people, common people feel there is a responsibility for them. Then local self-government, so village administration was given importance in democracy. Then development and prosperity for all. So prosperity means, so state of being prosperous. So the development and the prosperity is common for all. So not only for your individual group or for a particular community. So development and prosperity is given for all. Then popular sovereignty. So sovereignty means, so decision making power. So popular, so people have the power to make decision. Then the sense of cooperation. So common sense of cooperation and the fraternal feeling. So these are the merits of democratic government. So first responsible, then accountable government, equality and fraternity, sense of responsibility among common people. Then third one, local self-government. Then fourth one, development and prosperity for all. Then fifth one, popular sovereignty. Then last one, sense of cooperation and fraternal feeling among people. So fraternal means, so brotherhood feeling, so friendship feeling. Okay, ma? So even though there are a lot of merits, so some demerits are there in democratic government. So first, indirect or representative nature of democracy. So first, it is not direct participation of people. So it is a representative nature. So people through their representatives express their views. So it is a demerit. Then lack of interest in democratic process and hence lower turnout in elections. So nowadays people lack interest in democratic process. So that some of the people won't came to put vote. So that's why there is a lower turnout. So turnout means so number of people attending or taking part in an event. So especially the number of people voting in an election. So the number of voting percentage nowadays in election was not that much high. So there is no 100% voting coverage. So it reaches up to 70 or 60 to 70% only. So there is no full participation of people in voting. Then instability in governance. So due to fractured mandate, that is there is no government was continuing for a longer period. So government is often changing. So there is no stable condition. So if the opposite party came into power means so they stopped the schemes and the policies followed by the previous government. So that instability in governance. So because so sometimes the no party will get a majority power in forming the government. So they form the government with the support of their coalition parties. Or even though if they got majority in the government means so after 5 years so there may be a chance of change of government. So this instability in governance was the major demerit. Then the delay in decision making process. So the decisions can't be taken quickly. So there is a delay. So because of the lot of procedures followed in the democratic form of government. So these are the demerits. So first indirect or representative nature of democracy, then lack of interest in democratic process and hence lower turnout in elections. Then third one, instability in governance due to fractured mandate. Then fifth one, delay in decision making process. So these are the merits and demerits of democracy. So if you have any doubt, just contact me. So today's homework is fourth Roman letter, first question. So give Abraham Lincoln's definition for democracy. So question in page number 244. Fourth Roman letter, first question. Answer in page number 239. So the last box. So Abraham Lincoln, one of the president of USA, defends democracy as a government of the people, by the people and for the people. Then for textbook reading, read the merits and demerits of democracy. So if you have any doubt, contact me. So have a nice day. So do your homework properly. So thank you. Have a nice day.